Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for a quick FAQ video. And though I've talked about this particular subject a few other times, it was more inserted into other videos, so I thought now's a good time to go ahead and do a quick standalone to answer this common question or the common concern that people have. So recently I had a video where I was showing my newest tooth powder recipe because I'm always switching it up all the time. In fact, I don't show you guys every new recipe I come up with for tooth powder, just my favorites. And anyway, in that, one of my main ingredients is baking soda, and people saw that I was using Arm & Hammer baking soda. And sometimes I don't think to always say this in such videos because I assume by now everybody knows that the rumors that they've heard aren't quite true. So I thought I'd clear some things up about baking soda. So there's a common misunderstanding when it comes to baking soda that you have to look for a specific brand of baking soda that is aluminum free. And so people assume that because Arm & Hammer doesn't say aluminum free on the package necessarily, they assume that means it must have aluminum in it because all baking soda does unless it says otherwise. Well, any baking soda you buy from any brand should be 100% pure baking soda, which Arm & Hammer definitely is. And the reason I get Arm & Hammer is because I can typically get the best price for it at Costco. And one time I went specifically years ago to buy an aluminum-free baking soda from a bulk outfit that's similar to Azure Standard years ago. And so I got this 50-pound bag of baking soda specifically putting in aluminum free, which it was. But when I got this big bag in, I come to find out it was Arm & Hammer baking soda. Well, then I started learning more about why do people think there's aluminum in baking soda? And part of the reason why is because a lot of companies started labeling their baking soda as aluminum free. Now, why did they start doing that? Because of the misconception and misunderstanding when it comes to baking soda and baking powder and the differences. So while this isn't as widely used anymore, a lot of baking powders that you buy in the store do have aluminum, or at least did have aluminum added to them. And why is that? That's because aluminum is a drying agent, and baking powder is a combination of baking soda, like I have in this jar right here, and cream of tartar. Those are the two main ingredients. In fact, these two ingredients are all you need to make baking powder. And this is why I've even done a video on that I'll link to down below so you can learn a little bit more about it. But the problem with combining these two agents together and then putting them in storage is that they basically, first of all, activate each other. So once they're combined, they're not going to have as long of a shelf life as separately, but also because they're opposites. So baking soda is a base. So in other words, it has a high pH in comparison to cream of tartar, which is an acid, which is going to have a much lower pH. This is the same thing as when you combine baking soda with vinegar, you're going to get a fizzy reaction. Same thing happens with cream of tartar. But because they're in a dry form like this, when they're combined without a drying agent added to it to prevent moisture, it will clump and often turn into just a brick in your jar if you combine them without any kind of drying agent. Now, what most people will do if they want to combine them and store them, they will add something like a starch, such as this is what I used to do, is add a tablespoon. I think it was for each cup of baking powder you made, it's a tablespoon of a starch such as an organic arrowroot powder or organic tapioca starch, or any other kind of healthier starch. But what I do now is I just keep them separate. Then I don't have to worry about them becoming inactive over time, and I don't have to put any additives in of any kind, and I don't have to worry about the clumping. So back to the baking soda, baking powder. Because this big scare got about aluminum in the baking powder came out, a lot of people get confused between, because Arm & Hammer has a baking powder, but they also have a baking soda. So A lot of people confuse baking powder and baking soda. They're not the same thing. Baking powder has baking soda in it, or sodium bicarbonate, but baking soda is just simply that. It's just pure baking soda. There's no need to look for one that is aluminum free. So anyway, that is why then, because of the big scare and people getting confused and thinking all, baking soda has aluminum in it unless it says otherwise, this is why some companies started labeling their baking soda as aluminum free. There's really no need to do that because all baking soda is aluminum free, but they did that because of the assumption that people were making and the rumors that were being spread. So this is why I use Arm & Hammer, because I know it's already aluminum free. Now, unless I know a lot of companies have stopped putting aluminum in their baking powder, but since it's just cheaper and easier for me to just have, just mix the two in the biscuits or cookies when I'm making them, I just keep them separate and handy right here on my counter. So anyway, I hope that clears up some confusion. And again, if you'd like to check out more about the baking powder and the amounts used, go ahead and check out that video I'll be putting in the description box down below. And I'll also include a link to the video I did on the differences between washing soda and baking soda, sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. They're similar yet different. And I'll link to that video in the description box down below as well. So don't forget to click on more, or if you're on Rumble, click on show more somewhere down here below the video screen to open the description box and find all of the links and any other information, social media links and so on down there. And share this information with anyone you think needs it. I really appreciate you helping me get my channel back out there in the algorithms again. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.